What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. So Tesla's up quite a bit right now. We're actually up about 32 points in the pre-market, which is very awesome to see. Tesla's going to also likely try to push a bit higher if we could hold above 425 to push for 440. And although it's awesome to see Tesla pumping like this, guys, I'm not super hyped. I'm not going to just start foaming into Tesla, just buying up these shares like crazy at these high levels, because I don't think we're going to sustain these high levels forever. You have to keep in mind that Tesla is going to gap up 30 points. There's going to be a massive gap below. And I believe that Tesla will return to the 300s again, at least in the upcoming months. There will be a time when Tesla does start to dip. There are so many gaps left to fill below, and also it's because we're gonna gap up like 31 points. um yes, we're gonna go higher a little bit. I could see us continuing to push and push, but like I said before, I think that there's gonna come another time when Tesla does correct and it comes back down to fill a lot of these gaps. So I'm not gonna just jump into shares and just start buying like crazy. Now I could scalp this up. I could buy like, call options, play this to the upside, buy long positions just temporarily during the rally, right? And eventually I will close them pretty quickly just to make money here and there on a short-term basis. But for the long term, yes, Tesla's going to try to gap up, but be very, very careful. So why is Tesla gapping up like this? There's some big news that came out that Elon Musk has bought $1 billion worth of Tesla shares on Friday, according to an SEC report. That is, absolutely insane. Awesome to see him basically just continuing to buy up Tesla. And with what's going on, a lot of investors are looking at this as Elon Musk solidifying his position to Tesla, that he once again wants to sustain his position. He wants to work here for longer term, and he's not necessarily backing down. So he bought over 2.5 million shares worth of the company, worth approximately $1 billion. Once again, that's fantastic news, which just shows his confidence in Tesla moving forward. But keep in mind, like, yes, this is helping Tesla gap up. Yes, we're going to try to go a little higher, but there's going to be a massive gap below. And like I said before, I don't think that this level is going to hold forever. There will be future buying opportunities, even if we do go a little bit higher from here. On top of this, Tesla said that they're going to be boosting their output in Germany. Once again, we're seeing an improvement in sales, and we're going to be looking to see an improvement in the month of September and also during Q4. So that's why they want to once again continue to increase the output in Germany, at least for the time being. That's some good news as well. What else is fueling the market right now is President Trump is hyping up a potential trade deal between the US and China again. He's saying that they've had very, very big trade meetings in Europe between the US and China, and it's gone very, very well. He also said that they are going to be concluding it, and that a deal was also reached on a certain company that young people in our country very much want to save. So that is a decent piece of news. So President Trump was announcing that. Then President Trump said something else, which is helping companies. He is now floating the idea that companies may not have to provide earnings reports on a quarterly basis, but instead do it on a semi-annual basis. So he did put this on his Truth Social page. He said, subject to SEC approval, companies and corporations should no longer be forced to report on a quarterly basis. Instead, he's saying that it could be 6 months instead. So that's like a semi-annual basis, which is going to save money and allow managers to focus on properly running their companies. Now, I don't know if this is going to change because we're so used to quarterly earnings, but once again, this is something that could change over time. And that's what President Trump is talking about. Then he's saying that too late, Powell must cut interest rates now, bigger than he had in mind. Housing will soar. So President Trump is now becoming more confident. There's going to be a cut coming. There's a 96% chance we get a 25 basis point cut. And then on top of this, at 11:30 a.m., we have some bill auctions. So keep that in mind. Anyways, so with that being said, Tesla's looking quite bullish. Now, we could try to fight this resistance right here. The next level is going to be 440. As long as we don't lose like 425, I could see 440. If that breaks, we have a gap to fill back up to like 455 next. If we break past 445. So I think that Tesla could be pushing higher. We're gonna actually pull up the 4-hour time frame. We just rocketed overnight. We could be going for 440 on Tesla, maybe a little bit higher. Um, if that breaks now, we may continue to rally. In my video yesterday, I did not know that Elon Musk was buying $1 billion worth of shares. So, of course, my analysis and views will be different. If I had known that yesterday, I would have been a little bit more bullish on Tesla. So, yeah, we could rally for 440 if we hold above 425. We may even go a little bit higher, close to like 450 if 440 breaks, but I don't think that we're just going to hold up here forever. I would not buy shares at this high level. I'd be very, very patient because, like I said before, after FOMC, there is a chance Tesla will eventually turn back down. And then now we have these massive gaps to fill. And I think we're also going to be returning back down to the 300s again. I don't think we're completely out of the water yet. So keep that in mind for Tesla. If we lose 425, we could be retesting essentially the support right here. I'm going to show you the level right over here. I'm going to be watching this resistance becoming support at 412, and if 412 fails, I think we dip back down to 400. So watch 425. If that fails us, we dip to 412. If we hold above 425, we're going to be looking for 440 as our target. We're looking quite strong with good momentum, so I do think Tesla goes a bit higher for 440. And if that breaks, we're looking for 450. But as I said before, I do not expect this rally to last forever, and I'm not going to be buying Tesla shares long term at these high levels because I do think that we're going to come down again eventually, whether it's next month or later on. Now, the stock market is still pushing, despite the fact that we had topping signals. We're not ready yet to top out. But I do still believe the top is near. And I also think that we're just pushing because of President Trump, who's pushing cuts and new news about SEC approval changes that could be coming to, earnings for different companies. So we could be going for that 660 area, maybe a little bit higher, but I don't see this rally lasting much longer. I think that once we get FOMC, things will turn. If we lose 658, we're going to be looking for 655, but we're not ready yet to dip. We could be looking for 660, even the low 660s first for a little bit more upside, but then we could still turn back down. So you want to be very careful. Now, the QQQ, it's still technically going higher, but notice there's no sign of it basically invalidating this rising wedge. We're still pushing higher, partly because of Tesla, which is helping the market. We're still in a perfect rising wedge on the QQQ. It has not been invalidated. So we're going to be watching to see if we could get closer to like 590 before we turn back down. So we'll keep that in mind. The IWM could be looking for 240, maybe even 242, and we'll see if we reject. It could be going a bit higher. ES is at 6,600. I don't think we're going to hold above 6,600 for long. We could go for 6620 if this continues to hold, but be careful the closer we get to FOMC because I don't think we're going to hold these levels for much longer. I think this is a trap for people. NQ is trying to push higher. We're going to be looking for 24,200. We're going to see if this reverses. There's still a triple bearish divergence developing. We're still technically in a rising wedge. Bitcoin is actually starting to dip now. We're looking for 114,000, 113,400 as our supports. Tesla could be looking for almost 440, and we'll see if we turn back down or not. So watch and see a little bit more upside. Looking at Nvda, we're actually showing some weakness right here. Keep in mind that on the daily time frame, we do have this gap to fill, so I would not be surprised if Nvidia starts to dip down to 170 or below soon. So be careful. Apple's going to likely gap up looking for basically 240 all over again, but be careful at this resistance as we get close to the previous all-time high. If 240 breaks, we could be looking for 245, so it might continue to push a bit higher before it starts to turn. For those who are interested, Palantir is still on an uptrend. Could be looking for an attempt for 172 to 175, so look for some upside. Then we'll see if we reverse off those levels, but look for more upside for now. AMD has an inverse head and shoulders, could be going a bit higher. As long as we don't lose 159.75, we're going to be favoring 162 or above. Coinbase is also dipping right here. We could be retesting 318.6 and then 313. Look for 318, see if we bounce. If not, we could be dipping more. Amazon also has a rejection forming. We're going to see if 231 holds. If not, we could be returning back down to 228. Meta also has a head and shoulders like pattern. We need to hold 745, or else we could be dipping to 740. Google is also looking a bit more bullish. We're going to be looking for 248 to 215. We'll see if we turn. And Microsoft could be looking for essentially 512, and we'll see if we turn or not. There might be some temporary upside. The VIX gapped up. It's going to be coming down to fill this gap, which means the market might be going a bit higher. But keep in mind, every time we touch the 14s on the VIX since the year started, we do see big bounces. So there's going to be a big bounce brewing, possibly after FOMC. So be very, very mindful of that. The market may push to new all-time highs. Tesla may push a bit more. If we don't lose 425, we could be now looking for 440 or above. But you have to be very patient. And remember, this is just a temporary move. I don't think we're going to be pushing to like 450, 500, forever. We're not going to be lasting there yet. I still think there's going to be a correction first before we see Tesla begin to start this like new rally phase. So keep that in mind. We're just gapping up 30 points, and we have so many gaps below. I don't think Tesla's going to be holding these levels forever. And I would not buy shares this high up. I'd wait for the correction. We even had an opportunity to buy shares before we were talking about that. So could we push more? Yes, we could temporarily push higher, but like I said before, I don't see us lasting up here forever. I thank you all for listening. Have a good one, and peace out.